Did you know during ancient Rome's golden age, a criminal received a unique death sentence? They didn't just execute you in ancient Rome, they sent you into a fate so strange, so ritualized, and so shrouded in symbols that the mere whisper of its name sent unease through the streets. This was no ordinary execution. It was the Poena Cullei, the Roman death sack. This eerie form of capital punishment was reserved for the most heinous of crimes, one that struck at the very core of Roman society and morality. But what exactly was this unimaginable crime, and how did the penalty of the death sack come to be? Imagine being accused of a crime the Romans believed shattered the natural order itself, the unthinkable act of harming the very parent who gave you life. In their eyes, this was more than a crime. It was a fracture in the universe, an offense to the gods, a stain on the family that could never be washed away. And so the punishment was designed not merely to end a life, but to erase the person entirely from the human story. On the day of judgment, you would be brought into the open, the eyes of the city fixed upon you as a strange leather sack awaited. It was thick, impossibly heavy, and stitched together with such skill that not even the sharpest blade could find purchase. Inside, restless shapes moved: a dog, a rooster, a serpent, and a monkey. Each had been carefully selected, trapped there for this moment, each bearing silent witness to your fate. Each held deep symbolic meaning in Roman belief. Let's start with the dog. For centuries, dogs had been man's companion, their loyalty and affection unwavering. They were symbols of fidelity, of warmth, and of the bonds that connected humans to the world around them. But now, oh, how the mighty had fallen. Now the dog was confined in darkness, its mournful spirit trapped alongside you, a living testament to your own act of disloyalty. The dog's presence served as a stark reminder of the depths of your betrayal, not just towards your parents, but towards the very essence of companionship and trust. Then there was the rooster. To the Romans, the rooster was more than just a bird. It was a harbinger of the dawn, a herald of destiny. Its loud, clear crow was the call to arms, the summons to action, the announcement of a new day. It was a symbol of fate, of the relentless march of time, and of the opportunities that awaited. Now, trapped in the stifling confines of the sack, the rooster's crow took on a different tone. It became a mocking echo of your own lost potential, a taunt of the future you would never have. The rooster's cries, once a celebration of the rising sun, now served as a grim reminder of the setting of your own personal sun, the death sack becoming a tomb long before it reached its final destination. Next there was the serpent. Coiled in the darkness, its scales cold against its companions, the serpent was a creature of mystery and danger. To the Romans, it was a symbol of healing, yes, but also of vengeance. It was a creature that could both harm and heal, a potent force of nature that demanded respect. The serpent represented the raw, untamed aspects of existence, a reminder of the primal forces that lay just beneath the surface of Roman society. And now, locked within the confines of the death sack, the serpent took on a new significance. Its presence transformed the sack into a vessel of retribution, a tangible manifestation of the vengeful forces unleashed by your crime. The serpent became a living embodiment of the consequences of your actions, a constant, slithering reminder of the pain and suffering you had caused, which now came full circle. And finally, there was the monkey. The monkey, with its curious nature and uncanny resemblance to humankind, was seen as a reflection of our own species, a mirror to our own behaviors, both noble and base. It was a creature that could mimic, that could learn, and that possessed a disturbing intelligence. In the context of the death sack, the monkey took on a haunting significance. Its inclusion served as a reminder of humanity's capacity for darkness, a stark portrayal of the evil that could lurk within the human heart. The monkey's presence transformed the sack into a microcosm of human nature, a chilling tableau of the destructive impulses that could ultimately lead to one's demise. These four creatures, the treacherous dog, the defiant rooster, the vengeful serpent, and the unsettling monkey, they were not just thrown together by chance. Each had been deliberately chosen for this dark ritual. Their combined symbolism wove a tapestry of meaning that was inescapable, leaving those who witnessed the procession both terrified and contemplative. You would be placed within this sealed world, the air warm and alive with motion. The muffled sounds of the city drifted in, the murmur of conversations, the distant cry of a street vendor, the clatter of tools from a nearby workshop. These sounds, once familiar and comforting, now carried an undertone of menace, a reminder of the world you were leaving behind. The sunlight filtering through the leather, it cast dancing shadows on the creatures inside, turning the sack into a stage for a macabre play. The rooster, momentarily silhouetted against the light, puffed out its chest, a defiant silhouette. The serpent, with scales glinting, raised its head, as if in warning. The monkey, perched on a rock, seemed to peer out with knowing eyes. And the dog, the poor dog, whined softly, its tail tucked between its legs. In that small enclosed world, the drama played out, a silent, unseen spectacle that spoke volumes of the fate awaiting. Then, slowly, ever so slowly, the sack would begin to move, lifted from the ground by strong hands. It would sway gently, at first, like a leaf caught in a gentle breeze. But as it progressed through the crowds, the pace would pick up. The rhythm of the crowd's movement, the measured steps of the executioners, they all blended together to form a steady beat. A beat that echoed the steady drip of water from a leaky roof, the ticking of a clock, the pulse of a city. With each step, the weight of the sack grew heavier, not just physically, but symbolically. The lives trapped within, the hopes, dreams, and fears, they all contributed to the growing burden. As it made its way through the throngs of people, the spectators parted before it, their gazes a mixture of morbid fascination and respectful fear. Some averted their eyes, unable to bear the sight, while others stood transfixed, their faces pale, their breaths shallow. Among them were mothers clutching their children close, shielding their innocent eyes with their own bodies. Lovers, their hands intertwined, seeking solace in each other's presence. Friends, their faces drawn, their whispers hushed. All were united in their shared understanding of the solemn duty that had brought them to this somber spectacle. Finally, the procession arrived at the bank of the Tiber River. The river, usually a lively artery of the city, teeming with boats and bustling with activity, lay unusually still. The sight of the approaching sack caused an immediate hush to fall over the riverbank. Boats were stilled, oars frozen mid-stroke, nets forgotten in heaps on the ground. Even the lapping of the water against the banks seemed to cease, as if the river itself held its breath in reverence. You would be placed on a stone, the cold, rough surface a stark contrast to the stifling softness of the sack. Then, with a suddenness that stole any last shred of surprise, the sack would be untied. the leather falling away to reveal the creatures within. The dog whimpered, the rooster crowed frantically, the serpent hissed, and the monkey chattered in alarm. As the sack fell away, it was as if these creatures, too, sensed their imminent fate, their cries echoing the turmoil within the human hearts watching. But it wasn't over yet. The sentencing didn't end there. Oh no, not by a long shot. This was only the beginning of the final act. The next moment was the descent into the water. The condemned person, entangled with the beasts, was gently lowered into the river. The crowd held their breath, the sound of their collective intake echoing over the water. As the water closed over the head, the sounds of the city faded away, replaced by the muffled drumming of the water against the leather. And then silence, a silence heavy with finality, a silence that swallowed all sound, all hope, all struggle. The current began to pull the sack away from the bank, carrying it further into the heart of the river. The buildings along the shore receded, the crowd's faces fading from view, the familiar landmarks of the city giving way to the endless flow of the stream. The sack drifted. It flowed, it journeyed, and it carried with it the echoes of a story that would forever be a part of Rome's haunting lore. So why was this form of punishment used? Why the elaborate symbolism, the strange animal companions, the slow journey to the river? The answer lies in the very heart of Roman culture, their deep-rooted reverence for order and balance. The Romans believed that society was like a delicate tapestry. Each thread, each person, each institution, holding a specific place in the grand design. When someone committed a crime, they didn't just break the law, they disrupted the very fabric of their world. The Poena Cullei was a way to restore balance, to make the universe whole again. It was a message to the guilty and the innocent alike, a constant reminder that the threads of Roman life, once broken, would be mended no matter the cost. Even today, the story of the Poena Cullei serves as a stark reminder of the lengths to which societies will go to uphold their laws, to protect their traditions, and to preserve their way of life. It's a tale that transcends time, a lesson in the extremes of justice. So the next time you hear the word Rome, think not just of its grandeur, its power, or its glory, but also of its shadows, its secrets, and its profound impact on the course of history. Because in the annals of time, the greatest empires, too, have their darkest chapters. And the Poena Cullei stands as a haunting testament to that enduring truth. If you enjoyed this video, check out more stories about ancient Rome, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching,